So we're just doing a quick unboxing video here. It's probably going to be like 2 minutes because I want to just kind of show me unboxing this because this is a pretty cool item that we are unboxing currently right now. My knife is not very sharp. You can already see things of bubble wraps. That's a very good sign. I'm glad that my friend ended up packaging it well. Well, from what it seems, it looks like. Now you won't be able to tell like probably anything from the top, but that is in fact a classic Gemmy item. Yeah, you can kind of see it there, so we're gonna go ahead and pull this out. Yeah, so you can just see what it is right there. He taped the top of it. I don't know why people do this. Like the double box is fine enough. You don't have to tape the top, and I'm not upset about it. It's clear tape, so it's not going to ruin the box or anything. It's just adds a struggle onto the unboxing. And you never want to accidentally cut open the character, but it looks like there's a box inside this box as well, so I don't think there's any risk of cutting it, because that's the purpose of it. Come on. There we go. So yeah, you can, I mean, wow. Hey guys, it's Chase here on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and today, as you can see, I've got quite the video for you guys. What I have in front of you is the Gemmy 2007 5-foot-tall life-size animated Fortune Witch. This was sold at Costco back in the day, and the only reason I say 2007, I don't know if that's the correct year or not. I was told it's 2007, but I have no way of confirming. Like I kind of looked on a couple videos to see if anybody knew, but I couldn't find anybody. So usually where it would say the year on the box, it would be right next to the Gemmy logo, but on my box there's a Costco sticker over it that which tells me it was sold at Costco, but that's over where the year would be, so I have no idea what year this is. But anyways, this was sold at Costco back in the day, and there's a couple different generations of this witch. I have the first generation, and the way that you can tell, from what I was told, obviously the first thing that you notice is the fact that the two lights that shine on the skull, you can see they have white shrink wrap around them as opposed to black. I don't know why they chose to use white. It looks terrible. It's very noticeable. The whole purpose of them being black is just so you can't see them. But they decided to make them white. I don't know why. And it's shrink wrap too. You can see, because you can see like the label and everything on the side. So I could potentially replace it if I wanted to, but that would be making it non-original, so I wouldn't do that. And then, I guess the second way you could tell is apparently the eyes are made to look nicer, whereas the later models look cheaper. Now, I have not gotten to look up close to both models, so I could not tell you how easy or not easy it would be to tell. I'm not doubting that fact. I'm just saying that I can't look that close at these things to tell you that, oh, the eyes are different on this, so it's definitely a different generation. But shout out to DD-Richar1 for kind of telling me the generation on this, because he pointed all that out, and I was like, okay, I had no idea any of this. But it's pretty cool to have the first model. I think that this is probably the most common model you can find, because if you go on YouTube and search up Fortune Witch, this is pretty much the one that you'll find. Some of them they'll have like the black shrink wrap around the lights and the skull, but mostly you'll just see the white ones. This did not really need any work. It fully worked when I got it. However, there are some things that were off about it. For one, I replaced the head bobbing mech because the one it had, although it worked, it was super fast and it was just so loud. Now I know that you guys could say, oh, not only can you slow that down, but you can just grease it up. Guys, that was the only thing on it that had brittle plastic. Everything else on this is pearly white. Even the face, it doesn't seem like it's breakable at all. But that bobbing mech, like it's as if it's been replaced before because it was yellowed, it had broken plastic on it, there were gears exposed. It was driving my OCD crazy, so I went ahead and replaced it. I replaced it with a newer mech, which doesn't just have one capacitor, it has three, which what that does is it slows down the mech. The one I got off of her had only one, and that's why the first generations are notorious for, I wouldn't say falling over, but almost wanting to fall over because of how fast her head is. The more capacitors you have on it, the slower it's going to be. And those capacitors are just like those small orange pill-looking things, and you'll find them on the motor, sometimes on the circuit board, but mostly on the motor. So, I mean, that was about it with her. Besides the fact that when I first got her, I plugged her in, she started to cut out over and over and over again. I guess I wasn't using the correct adapter. Like, I was giving her 9 volts, 2 amps, which is a little bit, that's even more than what she's rated for, because she's only rated for 15k milliamps. Not 15k, sorry, 1500 milliamps, which is just 1.5 amps. So I was giving her 500 more amps than what she was supposed to have, and she wanted to cut out, which I don't understand why. Usually it'd be if you're giving her less amps. So maybe there's a problem with my adapter, but I did have to take the adapter out of the sleeve. It was all boxed up. It was zip tied like brand new. It had never been taken out before, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to have this thing cutting out in my display. I'm just going to, I'll use the adapter it has, and it still started to cut out with that, but then as I started to use it more and more, it got better, and now it doesn't do it at all. So I suspect that maybe it was just sitting in the box for too long, because this was used for one season and then just put back in the box. So that's, first of all, that's insane. It's great that this was not hardly used at all, and second of all, that is not too good for the components, because it did not have any power used to those things for a while. I can't imagine it's too good. I mean, if you look up online, it won't really tell you that it's bad, but I mean, things that are meant to store power, if you don't keep using them, it just seems like they just kind of wear down over time and just need a little bit of time to warm up after you haven't used it for a while. But with all that aside and being said, she was perfect. As you can see, the crystal ball is insanely clear. Now, you're definitely going to see some sort of reflection from my two lights on her, but other than that, you can basically see that she's clear on the skull globe. And you can see that the skull is facing the wrong direction. He does face forward when he's moving, but he's faced off to the side when sometimes when he'll move, and so I just caught her kind of in the worst position possible, especially because she's leaning off to the side too, because that's where her body is right now. And her eyes are off to the side. So I basically just stopped her in the completely wrong and just horrible area. So I apologize for that. I promise she looks a lot better when she's actually positioned correctly. But I think that's about it with her. One more thing I want to say before I activate her. This item is, I would say, built like a prototype. And what I mean by that, it's not really production grade in some areas, especially the arms, and that's one of the biggest things that I noticed. You would think that to hold up to a globe, to hold it up, she would have two metal pulls in her arm, like a butler or anything else that holds anything up with their arms that needs weight. No, she has two rods in each arm, and these are the rods that are positionable that you'll find in like the butler hand that isn't moving anything, or isn't holding anything, so you can position that hand. And just any character that just has the hand that isn't doing anything, isn't holding anything, that has like the bendable arm, that is what she has in her arms. And there's two of them, and they're both wrapped around each other. It does not strike me as something that is production grade. But it works. It does work. And I would imagine throughout the different models, she definitely would have had the metal pulls. But for this one, she has the flexible metal wires, but it kind of is what it is. And because she had the flexible metal wires, her ball was basically facing down, so I had to carefully bend them up so she was actually holding the crystal ball up so you could see the ball without having to like get down on the ground and see it. Because you can see, when I'm standing right now, I can see the ball totally fine, but where she was holding it before, it was basically facing the floor, so not good. But I think that's about it. She fully works, as you'll see. You should be able to see the eyes light up, because even though I have the lights on her, she should still be able to see it because her LEDs are pretty bright. She runs on 9 volts, 1500 milliamps. She has eye turn, mouth movement, head bobs up and down, her body goes back and forth, the skull moves, and his mouth moves. So that's a total of about 6 or 7 movements. So she's basically the most animated character that Gemmy's done next to the Gemmy Freddy Krueger. But with the Gemmy Freddy Krueger, he has all of his movements, whereas this one's switched between 2 characters. So I like the Gemmy Freddy better because he's given more animation, even though they both have the same amount of motors. It's in one character rather than 2. So with all that being said, I will go ahead and activate her. Let me just go ahead and cut the video, and I will get her turned on for you guys.
Yes. Come closer. I won't hurt you. I'm your friend.
Beware of the witch. Her heart is black with wickedness.
Pay no attention to the crystal ball. What do they know anyway?
So you can see she fully works in. I don't have her turned up to the loudest point right now, but I get with a lot of these characters, when you have them turned all the way up, it's not even louder. It just gets distorted. And unfortunately, with this character, it does have that problem. So because she has so many cool phrases, and it's just her mechanisms tend to be pretty loud. So you want to have her up, but also when you turn her up too loud, she just gets distorted, and you can't understand what she's saying. So that's a shame. But I have her at a pretty good point right now where you shouldn't be able to hear the mechanism, but you should be able to hear her pretty well. But it's also a little distorted where I have her. So.
Stop the things that you do. I said, watch out! I ain't lying. Yeah!
I ain't gonna take none of yours. Fooling around.
I ain't gonna take none of yours. Putting me down.
I put a spell on you. Because you're mine.
Hey, she stopped in a pretty good position that time. And as you can see, the skull will stop forward. It's just, if you catch him incorrectly sometimes, he will be off to the side, so.
Welcome. I will be happy to read your fortune for a small fee.
One arm and one leg. Perhaps a whole body.
Oh, no! Don't scare them off. I need those ingredients for my supper tonight.
I don't know how well it picks up on camera, but her eyes do move, and they move very well. I don't know how well it's picking it up. Again, I'll get up close with her after all the activations, but yeah, you can see her sensor's not very good, so I can talk loud like this, and she won't go off. Well, you probably did hear the Countess going off upstairs. I have her set up, so I probably should have turned her off for the video, but.
Crystal, hear this spell I cast. Tell this soul what shall come to pass.
I see. Treats, parties, costumes, spooky fun.
It appears that you shall have a happy Halloween.
That's just so cool. I think she's gonna play. I put a spell on you again, I think. So we'll just Because I'm not going to get in front of the camera and just keep shutting her off. I'm not going to do that. Or, actually, I probably can. I would have to crawl on the floor, but so I'm not doing that. But yeah, you can hear the countess upstairs. Oh, sorry, I down the body. That's what it is.
Nobody cares for me.
Nobody! Nobody!
I'm so sad and lonely.
I decided to go ahead and just get in front of it so I can keep turning it off and on manually.
Magic crystal! Hour is late! Woe this mortal their true fate!
You will have luck tonight, but will it be good or bad?
Better be careful tonight!
I'm sorry to hear my dog in the background.
I knew you would come! My crystal ball told me so!
Beware! Beware! Something wicked lies this way!
Oh, but don't be frightened. That happens to all my guests.
So I believe that was the last phrase. So I guess we will go ahead and get close with it. Just had to get in front of her so I could keep shutting off the song, because she sings both of them an equivalent of 2 times throughout all her phrases, which is cool. Oh, there she goes. As you can see, the eyes move very good on that, so I'll just keep activating her up close. Yeah. There's my dog. That's who I'm talking.
Come closer. I won't hurt you. I'm your friend.
Beware of the witch! Her heart is black with wickedness.
Pay no attention to the crystal ball. What do they know anyway?
Just great detail on the face. It's fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and actually let her go. Hold on.
I put a spell on you. Because you're mine.
You better stop the things that you do. I said, watch out! I ain't lying. Yeah!
I ain't gonna taste none of yours. Move them around.
I ain't gonna take none of yours. Holding me down.
I put a spell on you. Because you're mine.
I'll go ahead and switch her off so I can get up close to her and kind of show her off without her going off again. So you can see here's her face. Here are the good eyes that my friend Dita Richard one was talking about, or Donovan. I can't tell the difference, but apparently they look better. So that's good that I have the good version of the face. And what's cool is that unlike a lot of witches, her nose is actually sculpted underneath this, so you can't position it. Well, I mean, not position, but you can't move this PVC or anything like that. That's on there. Even the snout right here is sculpted, which is pretty cool. So there's a whole just plastic piece underneath here that has the nose, so you can't push it in or anything. And with the Sorry about that. So I was saying with the wart, typically there is a piece, or there's like a hole right here cut out where the wart can be pushed in, but you can't be pushed in. It's a whole just piece right here without that hole. So I guess they well, not reconstructed. I guess they remade a mold for the head. We knew that, but I've only had like the newer witches, so I never had like one this old. So I'm trying to explain everything with it, but also I'm sure it's a lot of information that you guys already know. And there's no plastic piece in her ears like that you can actually bend down. She's got great detail on her hat, like very good detail, and what I love is the fact that it's not just sewn on. They have these long stitches right here as if that she did this, and if she did do this, she's terrible at sewing because this is just awful. She did not use the same colored thread for the material that she was sewing on, and she goes way too far out and drags it too long, so she's not very good at sewing. So I would not trust her as my tailor. And you can see she's got, not really creepy cloth, but she's got this cheesecloth type thing that hangs down, but it's also got designs on it, which is super cool. So that hangs down, and then she's got creepy cloth right here. And then she's got a giant little thing, or not little, but just a giant draping creepy cloth. I guess, I don't know what you'd call it, but she's got it all the way down there, and then it gets tied in the back, which is a nice touch. And that's the only thing keeping it up. If that comes untied, then she's going to lose it. And then with these streamers that comes down, by the way, I love these. I love that it actually falls down kind of like in front of the face because it gives her so much more personality. They are just glued on. They're not sewn on. This was definitely the likes of her because if I see that she did this, then she definitely glued these on her hat and instead of sewing them. So again, she's just not... She probably would be better at arts and crafts as opposed to making actual clothing, but whatever. And then she's got this, I don't know what you'd call this, but this is the same thing that butlers have. They have it in front of their chest, and it's just a little nice design. And somebody pointed out to me, somebody said that she had, can I say nipples on this channel? Somebody said that she had nipples. You can see where they decide to sew the clothing, it sticks out right there. So it looks like that she does. I can assure you that she does not. I've not taken it off to see. I can tell you, Gemmy did not give her nipples. That just happened to be how they decided to sew her. So, and she's also got padding on her shoulders, or I guess on her arms. But it's real padding, like it's all stuffed. And then of course she has the regular padding on her shoulder right here. And this entire hat right here is stuffed as well. So if you take this off, you can see it's just a giant white little section right here that you can put her face on, or not, or her head over, and then the whole thing in here is just stuffed, which is super cool because a lot of the witches' hats, they tend to fall down. You don't see them like standing up like this. So I think she's probably one of the only witches that Gemmy did that with, or if not, I don't know. And then she's got more of these designs down here. I mean, just amazing detail, and we can see just how horrible again she is at sewing. But I just love this detail. Like it's so amazing that Gemmy went this far. Like not even just putting the patches on here, but spreading the sewing out as if, again, she did do this. That's just so cool to me. And I think that's about it with her. So I could show the box real quick. And she only has, I don't think she has something on the side, right? Oh, she does. That's cool. You know what? She actually might have the year then. No, sure doesn't. Because again, it's covered by the Costco sticker. So yeah, she does not. I'm telling you, there's nowhere on here that says the date, so I can't confirm nor deny it's 2007. But you can see it says, if you think the witch is cool, just take a look inside her crystal ball. The skull in the crystal ball comes to life and sings a song as the witch dances to it. He's not really singing, he's talking to it. He's talking about how he doesn't really have like any body. Sings Ain't Got No Body and I Put a Spell on You. And the only one that seems to be copyrighted on here is I Put a Spell on You, because you can see down here it actually gives credit to the original person who sang it and who they did it in the style of. But nowhere does it say I Ain't Got No Body. So I guess Gemmy made it like so much of their own that it's just, you couldn't copyright it because it's just so different. And then you can see she actually does have her microphone. It's still wrapped up in here. Like it's never been taken out. The 9-volt battery's still in there, and I'm surprised it hasn't corroded yet because that's still in there too. And she's got a very big box, and it's a heavy box too. Like, oh my lord. I was taking this inside my house. I was like, what is in this? Is there like a boulder or something in this? Because she's not even that heavy. Like, you'd think that with the crystal ball and all the mechanisms she had, she'd be super heavy. She's not. It's just how hefty the box is, because there's 2 boxes in this. There's the outer box, and then you've got this very thick inner box, and you can see that's where the microphone is, inside there. This is where I had to take the adapter out, but I did not cut the zip ties. I left those in there, so I could potentially just slide her adapter thing back in there. So, yeah, she's got all her box inserts, which is awesome. And then there's a piece that went over her head mech, which it's still in my room. I need to put it back in the box. But, yeah, that's basically it. That's the Gemmy 2007 Fortune Witch. I really like it. The only reason I got this was because I saw it as a kid. I went to this pumpkin patch growing up, and they had her like all the time around this checkout point. Like, they'd have like a barn that you'd walk into to pay for your pumpkins and kettle corn and whatever you bought, and she'd be right there on the side next to a giant door that you could walk through. So, very good memories with this witch. I'm really glad to have her now, like, as my own. I don't think that place has her anymore, and if they do, she'd be in terrible shape, because they also have a Count Vigor and a Mummy, and those have both been used in their haunt for ever since like the Mummy and Vigor came out, and I can't describe how terrible they are. It's like sun fading, ripped clothing. I mean, it's everything. Like, if I were to plug them in, they would just make a hissing sound. I guarantee it. Or nothing at all, but yeah, that's basically it. Really hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are enjoying this little series that we're having, just strictly posting the Gemmy collapsibles. And if some of them aren't collapsibles, I apologize. It's just there's only so many out there that we haven't reviewed yet. And I know that somebody did this one. I think Bailey did this one, but it's been long enough, so I feel like another review on it's due. So yeah, I will see you guys again next time.